Poisonrana.
Hello.
Hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for Poisonrana. You found us in whatever podcast you are listening to us on. And of course,
we are live on youtube.com/@PoisonRanaPod. Hello, YouTube room. How we doing?
Hello, everybody out there. It's Sunday. It's a lovely day out today.
It's beautiful. It's summer.
Summer is still lingering on, so hold on to it while you can, unless it's cold wherever you are. But hope it's okay.
There's summer in your heart, though.
Yeah. Well, hello. It's Sunday. It's the Frogs Day. We're going to chat about everything going on in the world of pro wrestling. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. Follow the socials to follow along for all the other shows that we got going on, because we're always talking about wrestling, because wrestling never stops.
Absolutely. And if you are in the YouTube room right now, there have been some issues with StreamYard recently. Apologies to anyone who listened to our Up Next show on Tuesday. There have been a few glitches, some audio issues. If you are in the room and you notice anything going wrong, just please let us know and we can try and fix it on the fly. Otherwise, we assume everything's sounding beautiful and we're looking all handsome and lovely. Yes,
we definitely had some issues last Tuesday, and then I noticed that a few other podcasts have been kind of reporting the same thing. So, yeah, hopefully they fix that.
Yeah.
Because we're on StreamYard and we use StreamYard. We'd really like it to work.
They've doubled the price of their subscription fee, and it's not working too well.
Especially since they've doubled the fee.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very good, StreamYard. Thank you. But hopefully it works today. And
so far, so good.
Yes.
We've got a frog thrown up in the room from Adam. Thank you, Adam.
Where my frogs at?
That means all is good. Yeah.
Throw your frogs up. Yeah. We're gonna have a nice day.
I think so.
You have the oven on. What are you cooking in there?
I'm slow cooking some pork butt.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Butt.
Have it when it's ready.
Pig's
Low and
butt.
Slow. That's how I do it.
That's how you eat your pig butt.
Yeah.
We have. I'm just like, the last 2 weekends were kind of shit, and then now it's nice. I'm like, now we're inside and I watched wrestling. We're going to talk about it, so we need to get some sun before we end the day.
For sure.
But I hope everyone out there is doing good. We will be live on Tuesday talking about some NXT, because it's go with NXT right now. It feels like it's a big kind of.
We're on the road to the CW.
Yeah, it feels good. So
what's CW stand for?
Cruising.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what it actually stands for.
Children and women, isn't that
What's
what
the
their
CW?
Target audience is? It's
Yeah,
like teens and
CW
women,
network, meaning CW. It means the names of its founding over. So the CBS and Warner Bros.
Oh,
CBS, Warner Bros.
That's boring.
Yeah,
cool.
I was gonna say like the cool. I don't even know what W. Cool White Claws.
Yeah,
White Claws backwards. So yeah, CW is coming, and I'm really excited about that. Definitely having NXT, the little bump there, gets people interested in talking. So we are live every Tuesday on the Post Wrestling. So give us a follow and check us out on Tuesdays.
Yeah, it should be a big episode this week with CM Punk showing up to make an announcement for that CW debut. DC Drew attacking him.
That'd be pretty
on
cool.
NXT. That'd be something good to do.
Yeah, like that'd give it a weird, like, interesting bump, because he did say where he will be. So like Drew would know that he could like take him out.
Where's Drew living these days?
Probably Florida.
Probably.
Streets are saying he was just here with Batista.
Okay.
The streets were saying Samoa Joe, Batista, and Drew went to see like the Wu-Tang Clan at some special show for TIFF the other night, which I was like, sorry, imagine you just had a concert and then you just see those three.
They probably went to Wide Open after. We know Drew.
I don't think he could fit. I know, but he's huge.
We've seen him in Wide Open.
Like, he's massive.
It was him. It did make me laugh, though. Like, a few years ago, I guess it was... Yeah, they were here for like a week. Yeah, so it was SummerSlam week, I guess. And it was Drew McIntyre, EC3,
right,
and Drake Maverick. And just thinking of the size of
Pokemon
those three
evolution.
blokes, I'm pretty sure it was Drake Maverick going, guys, I know this bar. It's awesome. And then just takes these two giants into the smallest bar in the city.
Right. Yeah. Because like seeing wrestlers and seeing Drew, he's a big dude. Like you see him. I think he's promoting that movie with Batista that I've seen.
It's not doing too well.
No, it looks definitely like a streaming movie. It looks like it's fun. It looks like it's a a fun movie, but nothing I'm running to the theaters to necessarily see. So Yeah, Batista though, he's still got it.
Oh yeah,
He's still good. What do we have to get out of the way here? Because we have a Patreon, which you should be supporting, especially since StreamYard raised their prices. So if you're like, oh guys, I want to give you $5, here's what you can do: patreon.com/Poisonrana. $5 to become a friend, and you get access to hundreds of podcasts.
We've never raised our prices.
We've never.
It's been $5 the whole time.
Look, like Arizona Iced Tea, the owner.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll never raise my price. It's always going to be 99 cents. And then someone's got to let him know that, like, yeah, well, like bodegas and convenience stores don't sell it for 99 cents, man. Sorry. So we will never raise our price. We're like Arizona Iced Tea.
I'm not. We might.
We might have to.
We haven't yet.
Because StreamYard did.
Not anytime soon, but we might have to one day.
We'll double it like
but
StreamYard.
For now, we've been $5 for a good 5 years.
$5, you get podcasts such as our ECW One Night Stand review, our SummerSlam 94 review, all our movie reviews, including our latest Friday the 13th. If you're still feeling a little superstitious or a little stitious, you can check out our Jason Takes Manhattan review just from this past Friday.
Yeah, we've been having some good feedback for this one so far. Our good friend Jesse from the Six loved this show. He popped into Gabby's the other day, said hello with his lovely girlfriend, and she was saying she really enjoys our horror reviews because she doesn't want to watch the films because she's scared, but she's still curious to know what happens
and stuff,
everything.
Best deaths and stuff.
Yeah, so this is a fun one. We're getting into it's a little taster for spooky season, as we did have a Friday 13th just yesterday. So we did.
You mean Friday? Today's Sunday.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
The Lord's Day.
On Friday. Yeah, that's right. We had Friday 13th on Saturday. So a little taster. This was picked by Justin Killian, who unfortunately couldn't make it for the show, but I think he'll enjoy this one.
Yes, absolutely. This was a lot of fun. We had a lot of laughs talking about Jason on a cruise to Vancouver, and he punches a guy's head off.
Yep.
There's some great deaths, some great laughs. It's a whole riot.
Lots of boat.
Yeah, there's way too much
lower boat.
Yeah. That was a fun review. So you get that podcast, you get all the other shows that we got on there, and it's only $5. So what a better time. What better time right now than to give us a...
Yeah, we unintentionally did a double bill this week.
What's this week?
Because we did What's Next as well.
Oh, right. I have to put that up still.
Oh, it's still not up?
Yeah. Well, we should be plugging a free show. I did get that show up. That was my priority yesterday morning. So I did put up What Up, Doe with B Detroit and John Ceno over here on this very free feed. It's not on YouTube, but it is on the podcast feed. So go check out Ceno and B. They chat a lot of wrestling. They give their thoughts on All In and All Out and current WWE and NXT to CW and so much more, including Kendrick announced for the Super Bowl. And I haven't gotten past that part, but definitely check it out. And I finished a shift and they had sent it to me Friday night. And I was like, you're working, I'm working. I'm like, I'll do it. I'll get it home. I even did my attempt at a graphic. So I hustled for them to make sure people had it for their Saturday morning. So if you haven't checked it out already, it is on this feed, and check out the boys, because What Up Doe is a great listen. B and Ceno get me laughing.
They're fantastic.
Them picking apart all the wrestling stuff. It's a lot of fun. So lots and lots of podcasts. Poisonrana on all your socials. Give us a follow to stay informed of all the shows that we got going on. So lots and lots of podcasts, and we appreciate the support. And if you want to further your support, chop-cheese.com/Poisonrana.
Yes.
Get your hats, t-shirts. It's going to get more, cool soon. So you might want to, get a hoodie. I don't know.
Yeah, get our hoodie. Don't get that AEW hoodie.
Oh, God.
Get one of our hoodies. They're classy.
Should we make one like that?
Hoodies you want to be seen in public.
Like rip that one off? I don't even know how you would.
What would we have on it? Just the BDE title?
The BDE title, which is like a frog on it, I guess.
Don't know. Yeah.
That it looked like fart smoke, like fart dust. It's just
awful.
fart.
Awful.
Like it looks like the Breaking Bad meth smoke.
Yeah.
But like on your, it's so weird.
It's bizarre.
Yeah, they've had some good stuff lately. They've actually hired designers.
Okay.
I follow. I haven't ordered from PWT in a while, but I appreciate the grind and the hustle and everything. But they finally got designers for AEW. They've been seeing like, oh, maybe AI isn't the best way. Let's actually pay people to make stuff. And the stuff that they've been making has been pretty good. This is not one of those things, though.
No,
this was
fuck no.
clearly not one of those things.
Horrendous.
This is one of the worst things they've ever put out. So at this point, you can't even pull that. You got to just sell it. You got to own up to it.
I'm sure some people will ironically, but knowing the fashion sense of some wrestling fans, probably just buy it.
It just
not unironically.
like if you wear this AEW fart hoodie, it just looks like you stink.
Yeah,
It just looks like you smell.
yeah, I agree.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be offensive in any way. I don't even know if that is, but it does look like you would smell if you wear that hoodie.
It might as well come with a free neck beard to attach to yourself.
You might as well not shower for the rest of your life if you wear those things. But oh man, bless them. At least WWE, they pulled their bracelets.
Yes.
And then they edited them and then they resell them now. So they had Larry and AJ on it, which is the original candy bracelet thing. They started selling those. And then hours later, they pulled it from the website and people assumed maybe it was Punk or something like that. No. They just went, yeah, why are we putting AJ and Larry on it? Let's put CM Punk on it instead. Right. So you can still get these bracelets.
Okay.
For anyone interested.
I wonder if she's getting a cut now, the fan who came up with this.
Yeah, she didn't come up with it. It's just what spiraled and started this thing. So I don't know if necessarily she's deserving of a cut, but
no, I mean it's she didn't invent the bracelet, but she's the one that
started this.
Would this have been
would it be part of the lore of
exactly
this story, right? So yeah, interesting. But it's crazy. AEW selling fart hoodies and WWE selling bracelets.
Yeah, love it.
Wild time. Should we go through some wrestling?
Yeah.
I feel like there's not a whole lot this week, but at the same time, there always is.
Let's what's the word? Not rejoice, but savor these days when we don't have hours and hours of wrestling pay-per-views and things to go through. But it was WWE week on the USA Network, wasn't it?
It was?
It was. Because everything is on USA right now.
It was. And then, right now they are.
Yeah.
Right.
So we had we had obviously Raw, NXT. We talked a bit about both of them on Tuesday. But SmackDown, the USA debut, and some changes.
Yes, absolutely. They had a new theme song. Mm-hmm. Everyone is, of course, accepting this without any complaints or discussion or discourse online in the internet wrestling community at all, right? I mean, it's fine. The days are gone when we heard Drowning Pool and, dare I say, AC/DC. So it's just a song. Meg Thee Stallion, she's cool.
Yep.
She's pretty current. She's pretty popular. Is it the best fit for wrestling? Maybe not, but fuck, it's still a hype song, I guess.
It's trying to be current rather than picking a song that's 20 years old or whatever to do, which they have done in the past. It's a theme song. It doesn't change my enjoyment of the show one way or the other. I can't say any of the themes in recent years have really stuck with me. But it's fine.
If this is a change towards I'm forgetting who I saw. It was probably Fightful reporting stuff about. We'll get into some talk about Def Rebel in a little bit, but reports about WWE moving towards more licensed music and working with artists and things like that. That's something I've been talking about for a long time that we've been itching for. WWE never stopped being machine. It's just gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. So it is weird that there's a gap of years where we just had CFO and Def Rebel when there's money to be made on cross promotions.
WWE is such a business now. Yeah. That they're even as profitable as they are, they're always trying to look for ways to cut costs as well. We've seen, they've announced that live events are being scaled back even more because they don't really need to do them as much at the moment. It's a hot product. They don't need to go and try to get a market in smaller towns or whatever. Everyone's watching. Everyone's going to these events and spending way too much money on these tickets. And I think the music has very clearly been a cutting costs over the last few years. The quality of the themes haven't been strong. There've been a couple of good ones here and there, but haven't been strong. But I think you'll see the wrestlers who have their own actual proper song often seem so much more over because of it. Cody, Randy, Adam Copeland, etc., Punk, having a proper song it makes them feel more of a star. And I certainly think there's some people like a Bailey, for instance, whose music is fucking god awful.
Yeah.
I think having something proper would really help with it. I think it will help with the presentation of a lot of these characters we see.
No, absolutely. Like, imagine you did big crossover, like with real artists, whether it's rap, rock bands, like what they used to do. I think the aggression, like what a hot time right now to do a CD in today's world with like trap, rappers and all that, and do crossovers with wrestling themes. Like right now, that would be really hot. You put that on streaming services, whatever, like that'd be pretty popular, I'd say. And the same with like bands and stuff. Like, why don't they do that anymore? Like they used to do it a lot, right? Like Jim Johnson would write songs and then go, hey, this band, or like, like there was a lot of synergy with music. And in the last little while, it just hasn't felt like that.
I want to get away from the music that sounds like it's been made on a laptop as well.
Yeah.
I think that's
a lot of
thing. Like a lot of those Jim Johnson songs were excellent, but he's, composing them and then getting a guitarist to play the riff, getting a drummer, getting those things. And I can tell it feels more real. It just feels better. And a lot of these where you feel just these Def Rebel guys have just sat on the laptop on the day, just churning out different tracks. And some of them sound really similar because they've just made two versions of the same thing.
They've been caught online for like using the same stuff. But hey, Jim Johnson did that too. There's certain songs in old themes you go, wait a second, slow that down or fast that up. That's the same theme as this.
Yeah.
Skeletons of songs. That's totally fine. But like they've paid these people to be in charge of their music. And like, yeah, they've made some stinkers, but looking at how many songs Def Rebel have been behind, they have made some good ones that I foresee we don't end up losing anytime soon. I think the person who reported PW Nexus is the one that's saying it's expected WWE to go more mainstream artists in the future. That's just a report. Hopefully that is something true to that. But okay, Roman Reigns theme.
Okay, that's got to stay.
God tier.
Yeah.
Right? They did that. That's a big one.
Okay.
EO Sky.
Okay.
They did that one.
Yeah, that can
now, stay. That was just a banger. Yeah. That's a good one. Okay. All right. What about Braun Breaker's new theme?
Okay, that can go. Where are the Baja men at? Let's get them in.
Wow. Okay, they've actually done a lot of songs. Just pulling up Def Rebel's discography, if you will. Okay, they've done like how many versions of Baron Corbin's theme song? Which Def Rebel themes come to mind to you that you actually like just despise?
Bailey's for sure.
Okay, yeah, you made that clear now.
Fuck. I don't like these. I hate all these songs that just sound like lesser versions than the CFO's one. Like I'm thinking like Nia Jax. Like I can still just hear her, I'm not like most girls.
Right.
That one. But she's got a version which is similar, but it just fucking sucks. And I think there are so many like that. I mean, Jade, she took her AEW music, didn't she? So that can stay. That's not Def Rebel, but
Dewdrop.
I can't even think what that goes like.
They all just sound the same to me. Like I think back to the Royal Rumble where we were like, "What? Who's this? Who is this?" Like 3, 2, 1, and then the video of like Seth in the crowd watching in the box. He's like, every person coming out, he's like, "Who the fuck is this?" Like, it's true. I don't know a lot of these theme songs.
Chelsea Green can keep hers.
Okay, yeah.
I'm a hot mess. Whoa.
Is that even them? Like,
I don't know.
Probably, but yeah.
What other ones have you got there?
There's a lot of NXT ones. I see T-Bar, Reggie, I guess Scripps.
They've all gone.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I don't know. There's just a lot of like these ones.
That's the thing. I can't even pinpoint so many themes because I can't even think what they go like. They're so not memorable. But okay, who would you want? Like, I mean, let's go back to Bailey. Bailey's been saying she wants Paramore.
Yeah.
Like, so that would be cool.
Yeah.
As I said, like Baja Men for Braun Breaker would be
Baja Men.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who let the dogs out?
Exactly. That works. Rod Stewart Sailing for Baron Corbin. That would be good.
For Burn the Ships.
Yeah. Who else we got? I imagine Seth's music's way too popular, isn't it?
It is. I
don't love it.
It's a hot take. I don't like it that much.
I think you could take the woes and put it over something better.
Yeah, I don't love his theme.
Again, like I know his old one wasn't overly memorable, but I kind of still preferred that beat he had.
Right.
Who else we got? Drew, he can keep his. I like Drew's.
Okay, what about Damian Priest? He's got like one that sounds like you can't even. It's just or something like that. It's probably not.
He's got a relatively new one, which is kind of metal-esque, but he could probably get a better band.
Just give him the Undertaker's theme.
Yeah. I'm glad we've kept Code Orange with the Wyatts.
Right.
Because that's a great song. You just saw Street Profits. They can keep theirs. Theirs is pretty good.
I think theirs is old though, right? Oh, they had a newer one now, I think, from Def Rebel. Have they not?
Theirs might still be CFOs.
Okay, yeah.
Bianca can keep hers. Hers is great.
Again, there is some good ones. That's why I don't want to just shit on them because like they had some good ones. Don't get me wrong, but their success rate is like not great. Like they have really good ones, and then they have so many that are just like you can't even tell what it is because it's just not memorable. I think they did. I have this whole list here, but again, I guess it's a lot of people. Like LA Knights, they did that, right?
That can stay,
right? Like
that's good.
That's good too, right?
Yeah. Trick Williams, he can keep his.
I don't even think. Oh shit! Did they do Tricks?
I assume so.
Yeah, probably. Like you know what? I don't think them leaving is such a bad thing. I think there should be more like. Again, synergy with other musicians and producers,
like
and
how much collaboration is there with the wrestlers and their and the composers? Because
think back, Jim Johnston, who I'll never forget, never name drop that we got to see him live All In weekend. He always made songs sound like the wrestler themselves were singing it.
Yeah.
Isn't that like a weird thing? Like for years, I was like, oh, that's just Big Show singing his theme. And then it's like, no, that's not him.
Well, I've always said like, TV shows.
Yeah.
I mean, we've kind of gone away from theme songs for a lot of TV shows, but
bring it back.
Usually you could sing the name of the show.
Right.
Hill
Street Blues.
Exactly. And
Hill Street.
I imagine that's kind of where a composer starts with, like, who wants to be a millionaire?
Oh my God.
Like things like that, like maybe that's where they start. Yeah. I know Jim Johnson, he. Sorry, I'm still not convinced that ain't Big Show singing his song.
Jeff Hardy's sounded like him singing. Like he picked a lot of people's voices, singers and bands that sounded like the wrestler.
But also, I remember him saying about when composing The Rock's theme and how The Rock kind of, being mixed race, kind of, it was hard to pinpoint a certain like tone to go for. So he explained like he used this like quite like urban bass to it, the dong, boom, boom, boom. But then he said everyone just kept on saying this guy's charisma is electrifying. And that's why you get all these screaming like guitar riffs over the top of it. And when he broke it down, and I'm saying that pretty basically, but he broke down like every element of The Rock's theme and how it suits his character. And you listen and you go, oh, I hear that. I hear the rock to it, but I also hear a bit of that like urban bass to it as well. I hear the screaming guitar. Like it makes so much sense. Yeah.
There's like there was more of a like art to it, and like shout out like the guy in AEW. Oh man, Ruckus. Like same thing. Like people might give him shit, but like he makes some good ones, and then he's got to make some very fast.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, we got a guy debuting in 2 days. What can you do? It's like, that must be difficult. Like, that must be really hard. Whereas WWE, they would usually have so many being made. And then the wrestlers kind of like, I like this direction more. Like, think of Glorious was supposed to be for Nakamura.
Yeah.
And then he was like, I'm not really feeling that. And so they're like, fuck, let's use that on someone else. That completely helped make Bobby Roode.
Yeah.
Right? Like, at one point. So music can help you. And having a song with lyrics and an actual artist makes you feel like more of a superstar, like you said.
So. And I would wonder as well, with WWE being as hot as it is right now, you might be having bigger artists being willing to cut deals where they're maybe not getting paid as much as they should be, but because they're a fan. And they're like, I mean, you've heard that with Living Color and CM Punk. They like when he went to AEW and he was applying for the song, they contacted him going like, "Is someone wants this song? Is this you? Because you're fine. We'll give this."
So
to you.
then they re-recorded the song,
Yeah.
and put it up. So that's the one that CM Punk uses now. So they get way more streams.
Yeah.
They make more money from the newer version from it. So it was a thought process there, which, some bands could really capitalize on that.
Yeah.
Because think, say I'm a wrestler and I go, I'm really popular. Fuck you. You're not making me some Def Rebel. I want a song and I'm picking the song.
Yeah.
Okay, well, how much is it going to cost? Well, it's from some one-hit wonder from like the 90s or 2000s. I think they'd be okay with it. Like the band would definitely let you pay them fucking, only a little bit just to have it. If you put a song on a video game, WWE, NBA, whatever, it gets seen, it gets heard, it gets played, and that's it. Like it's just
those Madden and FIFA
crazy.
and 2K and all that.
That's how people make money.
Are insane.
Like a buddy of mine, we did some music together, and he moved, and one I think I brought this up. He did a song where they like sampled him saying a few lines, and some other rapper sampled it, and WWE used it for a SummerSlam or something. So technically my friend got like a check from that. Nice. And he was like, I didn't even know, like, I don't know anything about wrestling. In my song, he's like, hey, I know you love wrestling. Like, this is me in this song. I'm like, that's fucking crazy. Like, and they just were like, this song fits your vibe. The Megan Thee Stallion thing is interesting. She has a lot of like promo and press behind her to help these things happen. I'm sure this was some sort of big agreement and deal, because this song that just came out. So it's not like this was in the works for a long time. I imagine this was like, we're starting, maybe we need a new theme song, and boom, they just picked this one because it's Meg Thee Stallion and featuring like one of the guys from BTS.
Yes.
So that's pretty wild that WWE is using that.
Two huge things right now.
That's pretty crazy. So like again, is it the best fit for wrestling? I'm not quite sure, but fuck it. Yeah, why not? It's hype.
The only thing that I would worry about with the music is I hope they pay that it can be, I can't remember what the word is, in perpetuity. Is it when you can, you're not going to have going back in 10 years time on whatever version of Peacock, the network, Netflix we have, and see, they've dubbed this song
Def
because
Rebel.
They don't pay for the license anymore. You know, it sucks when you're watching some of those old like things on the network, and like, Undertaker comes out and you go, wait, shouldn't this be rolling right now? And it's not.
It's
things
weird.
Like that. It's annoying. So
I
hope they pay that. It's like, hey, this is for 3 years or whatever, but like
once you use it,
like,
once you use it, you should just be able to use it. Like that should just be how it is. But I mean, we're seeing
the contracts.
We're seeing the same thing with like the big election. Like every fucking song Trump has tried to use in the last like 10 years, artists keep chopping him down and being like, sorry, you can't use this. He's been shut down on every fucking songs he's picked because they keep saying, no, we don't agree with you using this, et cetera, et cetera. So you do have to have some sort of license, but a band would be crazy in today's age. Like an artist, put your stuff on work with WWE, you get so many more listens and views and everything. Like I think it would be a win-win. So like whether it's you work with new artists, like bands, new rappers and stuff like that. Like think we had Bad Bunny wrestling. Like Bad Bunny was a big deal and still is a big deal. So like they have their finger on the pulse of like what's going on. So whether or not a bunch of older wrestling fans are like, oh, what is this Meg Thee Stallion and some BTS? It's like, just that's not why you tuned in. So just, let's let it happen.
Yeah. Have you ever turned off a show because of the theme tune? No.
I just like in a picture a lot of old heads. Like someone listening right now is like, yeah, I hate it. And I'm like, I totally understand. I totally get it. But it's like, do you just want to go back to AC/DC?
Yeah.
Like we're moving forward a little bit. I was like kind of like, oh, they went with that. Okay. Because I had heard the song like a day before. I was like, oh, okay. Interesting. So where does it rank in your...
I've only heard it the once, and I can't remember a thing about it.
Because, like, to me, Raw is the original, like, we got the money. I love that Raw theme song.
The original. There's
for
like
me,
10 before.
Yeah. But, like, for me, that is, like, the one I love.
Mine is, was it Thorn in the Eye? For It's like the Attitude Era, Raw is Raw.
That one?
Yeah.
The heavy one? Yeah.
That's my Raw one for sure.
Like SmackDown has had like fucking.
I mean,
many.
SmackDown. I think of either the first one.
Okay. Oh, like OG.
Yeah, which apparently has lyrics. Did you know this?
I
thought
like-
it was just noise.
I like the Beautiful People.
Yeah,
That was
Beautiful
pretty sick.
People. They're probably the top two
Yeah.
Raw ones. But yeah, did you know there were lyrics in that original SmackDown song?
Yeah, probably if I hear it, yeah.
Because
I just like wrestling. It does like that kind of music isn't as popular in today. That's why like they use music that's popular, and Meg Stallion is really popular. I get it, but it does like wrestling is still about fighting.
Yeah.
Whether WWE like to admit that, wrestling is still like people fighting.
Yeah.
So like aggressive music does still work better.
I
but
think so.
Yeah. So like there's our honest opinion.
But then like AC/DC hit none of those things. It wasn't sure it's rock, but it wasn't aggressive rock, and
I do love me some
and
AC/DC, but like
dated as well.
Yeah,
Like,
I would never talk bad, but
yeah,
I secretly love.
I
them.
like AC/DC.
Yeah, I
don't
do
get
love
me wrong,
them, yeah.
but like that song.
Yeah, I'd use TNT, but I guess you'd use that for Dynamite or TNT. But yeah, if you could fantasy book any song to be the theme song of SmackDown instead of Meg Thee Stallion, just go back to Limp Bizkit, something heavy, aggressive. Just make My Way the official wrestling theme song.
Yeah,
yeah, like aggressive, loud music isn't something I listen to often, but it goes with wrestling because again, it's fighting. So like, yeah, WWE's more the like, you know,
there's a reason why like 23 years later, people still are making versions of that My Way video, or like
absolutely
come Mania season, watching that video again, rather than let's see Roman v Cody with The Weeknd in the background. It just
well, now you got Travis Scott is the Mania theme for this year. So like they're like using this is a popular song.
Okay.
So like the one that's like
is that they normally this is like the promotional one. Normally they change it.
Yeah, I bet you they don't, and you just hear it. He should perform.
Right.
But yeah, there's our discussion on wrestling theme songs and everything that's going on. We don't hate it. We accept the change.
Yeah, I need to hear it a few more times.
But yeah.
We also had a new logo on SmackDown.
Yeah, I mean now we're really nitpicking, but like that's a weird looking logo.
SmackDown.
It's like the S and the D, like
I like it when it's abbreviated, where it's
SD.
just the SD.
Yeah.
Like on the mic and things.
Looks like Subway.
I think that looks kind of cool. It does. It has a bit of a Subway thing about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Fresh.
But it does kind of look like SmackDown.
SmackDown. Yeah.
But I don't.
It's not my favorite.
It's a logo. Like,
where's the giant fist? That's the bigger question.
It's just giant fucking screen.
We need the giant fist.
Screens everywhere.
There was rumors we were getting the giant. We're bringing fisting back.
Yeah.
To wrestling. Bring it back.
Nice.
But so far, we didn't see that. But yeah, like cool that they've tried to do that. So going forward, SmackDown will remain on USA on Fridays.
Yes.
So like that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is interesting. That like this Fox is done, right? Like
Fox is done, yeah. And when getting into AEW, we'll talk about the potential of AEW potentially being on Fox.
So we're pouring one out for Fox.
Yeah.
Like I feel like they had a pretty good run.
Yeah, I always find whenever there's a new era in WWE, they hit it really hard for a couple of weeks and then it just falls back exactly to how it was. I'm thinking like things I liked about about Fox were the kind of graphics they use to make it look like they do on NFL, you know, the floating screen and that kind of thing. I thought was kind of cool. You know, who could forget that debut with Brock just killing Kofi in a couple of seconds? There was the pandemic for a lot of that run as well. So I think that kind of hurt it a bit. But like it did well. It was still like top numbers every week. But I don't think it ever reached the success that Fox originally thought it might get.
Yeah, I think having it on Fox helped gain some people that never watched it before because that channel in a lot of states and cities and towns was now more available for, like, that show was now more readily available to some people. And I think that helped in the last few years more than just like, oh yeah, TV ratings, this and that. I think just having that more readily available to some people who might not like have other channels and check it out or really care. And then, oh, it's pandemic. What else am I watching? I think in a weird way, like having it on these like free channels is what like help people like really latch on to you, because like for me growing up, WWE was part of my cable package as a kid. Obviously we're millennials. We don't pay for cable, but my parents did in the 90s and 2000s. And I would watch that's how I started watching wrestling. Right. So WWE going on Netflix. Now that's a whole other, like opening up a whole like universe of like people who don't watch your stuff grabbing onto it. And I think that will be a big part of it. But I do think Fox, like that era really helped. What else were you fucking doing in the pandemic? You couldn't watch sports. So we know firsthand, people were like, oh, you know what? Wrestling's like not that bad. And then maybe the pandemic helped you like watch a bit more. And then we got out of the pandemic, and then the fucking The Rock or whatever else like keeps you kind of a foot in the door. I think the Fox had a big part of that.
I think as well, it was one of the, okay, there's still, you know, sometimes there's a bit of crossover between the roster split and things. But when you think of the biggest story in WWE in the last 5 years has been the Bloodline.
Right.
And that has been pretty much all on SmackDown.
Yeah.
This whole time.
Yeah.
Where I can't think of many, like we've had so many roster splits and shakeups and all that. And again, it always just goes back to the status quo and everyone's just on everything. But this was pretty hard line drawn. Yes, it's coming up to Mania and Roman might make an appearance on Raw or whatever. You had, you know, the Usos as tag champs could go back and forth a little bit. But majority of that whole story has been SmackDown exclusive, which has been good for the brand. And I think that's also been a detriment at times, because maybe they focused so much on the Bloodline that during those periods when it's treading water a little, maybe the other stuff on the show hasn't been quite as hot. Whereas I think Raw has found a really nice balance of, you know, getting some fresher people over, like Bronson Reed, for instance, whilst having your main stories going on, whether it be your Judgment Days and Dom and all that sort of stuff as well. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think that's been a success of the Fox run, is that whole Bloodline story.
So the Fox runs over. The next little while, they're all on USA, and then NXT, CW
in October 1st,
and then
January for Raw,
and then January for us. Everything on Netflix. Us Canadians. See that? Americans, you had it great. I mean, you kind of had to watch it all over the place too, but now we just watch Netflix. Get to watch my Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Get to watch my true crime docs.
Yeah.
Get to watch my hot dog eating contest.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I can't wait.
And my wrestling.
It's interesting. I was flicking through Netflix the other day, and they've got all the sort of upcoming stuff that they're promoting. Okay. Obviously, the McMahon documentaries coming out very soon. Yeah. But just showing all the live stuff they're having coming out. A bunch of NFL games, like the Christmas Day game, I believe, as well. It's included in that.
Be huge.
Paul v. Tyson is on that. Yeah. So, really interested to see the evolution of Netflix as well as they go more into live content. I did see a report this week that that will be commercials on Raw, because it said like wrestling fans are already conditioned to it, but they have way more flexibility now. So you can go, you don't necessarily need to do headlock as Raw rolls on all the time. You can have it maybe at more natural points during the show.
I would love that.
You can play about with the time, like whether it's, you know, in general a 2-hour show, but some weeks it's a big week. We go 2 hours 30. You don't have anything else. It's not like a channel where you've got programming coming up after. You can go as long as you want. And I'm quite looking forward to that flexibility.
I wonder if they'll change their ways, because SmackDown would still have to do that. NXT would still have to have commercial breaks the same way. But like as a wrestling fan, that would be great if they went, hey, we play the ads after the match and before the match, never during. Because I think that's such a like you watch real sports, they don't go to break when they're doing something. Yeah. So like, yeah, I get that they need to have ads. Ads is what fucking pays my bills. But like,
we've
why in a match?
No, but we saw on TV when like you need commercials every 15 minutes or 20 minutes, whatever it is. Like that's how they make their money.
Of course.
Right? You do see sometimes they go, we're going commercial free the first hour or whatever. But we saw Raw experiment with not going to commercial break during matches. And what you end up with is 12-minute matches or doing the weird like 2 out of 3 falls thing they were doing.
So that was like they teased us, hey, we won't do commercials in matches, but then they went and did that shit. So it was like, what the fuck?
Wouldn't you rather a good 20-25 minute match that's broken up by one commercial, or 12-minute matches that mean nothing and don't go anywhere?
Right.
With Raw going to Netflix, I think you can achieve to do it a lot better now.
It'd be better if you like at least did it like after the match, before the match. Do entrances, commercial, intros, and then the match. Or like, I don't know. There's different things to do. But like going to a match just tells me this match doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like obviously every wrestling show that we watch has commercials in it. Again, that's how they make money. But like it's a little like nitpicking thing. Like, can you just not like, oh, and he's going down, he's got the puck, he's gonna shoot, but we'll be right back. We're going to break right now. It's like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
Like I know it's not real. You can the ref goes, hey, we're back from break, and then they do more action.
But also
right?
a lot of the American sports have just so many breaks in them anyway.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's so many breaks at play where they throw up commercials, which wrestling doesn't have that,
I guess.
Really.
Like they don't go to break in the middle of a promo.
You're not taking timeouts in a wrestling match, are you? Really?
Yeah, it's weird. It's like if you're doing the Heritage Cup match, you'd be like, hold on, I'm taking a break there. Which on NXT, they just come back and it's like 2 rounds later. It's like, oh, I guess I missed half this fucking match because the rounds are like 2 minutes or whatever. But yeah, I think the looks cool. Like for right now, I'm interested in seeing what WWE does on Netflix. That is a big draw, I think, and will help their brand even more so in whatever juggernaut they've become yet again. So it's cool that wrestling's cool again, and Netflix definitely helps to that. I watched a bit of SmackDown. You had on the cage match earlier. The match was fun.
Yeah, way better than the SummerSlam match.
Yeah.
I think an advantage of not being over bloated and going on too long. And I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good.
A big moment with Roman Reigns making the save for Cody Rhodes, the classic slow turnaround. He saves Cody and then he looks at him and he's like, oh, you're the one who beat me. I think they're dragging that out, but I think it's like it does great. The crowd are reacting really well. Now we're getting, which leads then to the match later on that's challenged for Bad Blood, which we're getting Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa versus Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns.
Yes.
Which again it's another tag match, but the bloodline is still popular. So
yeah, I think we're seeing the slow destruction of Solo Sikoa, not realizing that top spot. Like I like Solo in a certain position. This top like heel isn't it, especially when you got Jacob Fatu in the same group. But I think you can tell a good story with it. I wonder if the tag match is where we see the debut of Hikuleo to join the Bloodline 2.0 to get a win for the Bloodline. And then ultimately at Survivor Series, I do see Solo taking the fall, which could maybe lead to Jacob kicking him out the group, maybe.
You mean like completely, like we still have War Games. I imagine Solo is part of that.
No, that's what I mean. I'm saying at War Games.
Gotcha.
I think Solo takes the pin.
Right.
Which can then set up. Yeah, they're starting to plant the seeds with Jacob Fatu being, you know, Cody's like, oh, I'll give you a shot. You deserve a shot more.
Right.
So I think they've done a good job kind of having him maybe taking that Solo spot.
Yeah. Okay. So Cody and Roman versus Solo and Fatu. And what happens here? Like,
I said, I think Hikuleo. Did
he show up already? No, that was AEW.
Yeah.
How many more of these? How many more kids Rikishi got?
So many.
Backing that ass up.
No, this is
I know.
Haku's, yeah.
I know. I just say everyone's all these Samoans, man.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
But I think you realize seeing that kind of opening cage match and the stuff at the end, like Cody and Roman are your two top guys.
Yeah.
And I think you can, once you have the singles match, and I'm not calling for it anytime soon, but once you have that third singles match, I think there will absolutely still be an appetite for it. Because for Cody and Roman, like
one-on-one.
Yeah, I'm not saying anytime soon, but even if it's 2 WrestleManias from now, I think both guys are like so big right now, and just seeing them, like, I like that history. I like that acknowledgement of Roman being like, "You're the one that beat me." His line all about this is, still my ring, still my universe, all that, and Cody's like, it's not really anymore.
Right. Yeah, I like that. Cody and Roman are having this moment. I thought it was pretty cool to see them. It's like the 2 guys who fought now teaming up. That's pretty cool for the pay-per-view. My one thing is, I think, and I'm pretty sure, is the Cody run kind of boring? I love me Cody Rhodes. He's fucking the man, but like,
it's like
it's kind of boring
to pull the trigger on the big matches. It feels like,
okay,
when the pandemic first started, and I felt for a while in AEW that they were holding off on so many potential big matches because they wanted to wait until crowds come back.
Yeah,
that's kind of what this Cody run feels like for me. He's had good wrestlers he's faced, but wrestlers that you don't see a hope in hell them winning in KO and AJ
and Solo.
Exactly. I think once we get to the Randy feud, I think that's where it can really kick up again.
Right.
But it's, if Cody ends up being involved with War Games, like, I don't know.
I think he will be.
Well, if he's involved in that, that's not a title defense. And then you're looking at it's Rumble season. I think there is totally something you can have with Randy, like, taking out Cody, because why are you teaming with this guy? This is the guy that has screwed me out of numerous title wins. Kevin Owens out of numerous title wins. Yourself. I think there's justification for a Randy turn, and I think once we get that, we can really get cooking. But you're right; he's had this title since April, and
I love the AJ matches. I like the matches. It just feels like we're waiting till Mania.
And I think that is long-term storytelling's good, but occasionally you need, because I don't see Gunther dropping his title anytime soon.
Like, it's the classic, the story's in the chase.
Yeah.
Because it's like he's been chasing for years and then finished the story. And it's like, all right, cool. The story's been done. The next chapter. There really hasn't been a very entertaining chapter, to be honest. Again, it's not Cody, because he's great. Even in the little face-to-face with Roman and Cody, like, he's got everything. He's the guy. But like, I feel like there's so much more we could be doing right now with Cody, like whether it's the Randy feud, whether KO turned heel on him. Like, I don't know. Like, it just feels like we're waiting to get to a big match at Mania or whatever, and we're not going to do that till then. So I do see Cody being in the War Games. Like, the only way he's not is to have a title match with someone else. I don't know. But like, at this rate, it feels like he's part of this feud more than anything else.
Yeah.
So, but really, there's not a big contenders. Like, Randy would be the one to like have him face that you
like. I was surprised. I thought we might be getting that as soon as SummerSlam this year.
I mean, we got Randy Gunther instead, so it's like weird.
So it's whether we get it for Royal Rumble, but normally but once you get to January, you feel like things are pretty in place for April, don't you? So
it's The Rock at WrestleMania. Like, that's the match.
I guess so. Yeah.
Like, I would assume it's The Rock Cody more than The Rock Roman at Vegas.
Okay.
Like, wouldn't you think so?
Yeah.
Especially, I still walk around going, "Look at you now! Look at me now!"
It's whether you get that on a Saudi show, maybe.
No, Rock and Cody at Saudi? No way.
Maybe.
Mania all the way. Mania.
Like, but
Rock's getting paid Saudi numbers to wrestle in
you could
Mania.
have Rock as the champion at Mania.
I think The Rock's winning the title from Cody and then loses it to Roman, and then you get your Cody Roman match again down the line.
Like, yeah, I'm just wondering if you have it before. Like, when is Saudi? November?
Yeah, I see The Rock wrestling at WrestleMania. That's it.
Just then?
Just that.
Okay.
Yeah. Whether he wins the title,
yeah,
then wrestles more. But yeah. Yeah, Gallus is going to be getting the phone call in January, and then they'll be like, "All right, we'll wrestle, we'll train with you again." And then that's the only big match, really. The Rock pinned Cody, did he not?
Rock pinned Cody.
The Rock pinned Cody.
Rock has a match with Cody, like
that's
teased it already.
That's the match. Like that's the big end game match. So I guess they're like, yeah, nothing else matters in between that. Like so I think the Cody run, I don't want to say it's been boring. I like the AJ stuff. I like Cody. He's just he is a great character and a great wrestler, but we haven't like sunk our teeth into like a big classic like blood feud.
And the issue is as well, like I think there's so many potential matches that you feel are only being held off till a Mania. Yeah. Like Cody Punk at some point.
Cody Punk is gonna move. I mean, if Punk can wrestle by then.
Once Bad Blood's over,
yeah,
that's got to be the blow off for this Punk and Drew feud. So do you then go into, I guess, Punk and Seth again, maybe?
Punk and Gunther.
Punk Gunther, okay. But yeah, Punk Cody, we had those teasers around the Rumble this year.
It was great.
That was great. But maybe
it's nice to be appreciated.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it is nice to be appreciated. But yeah, I think you want some of these big matches now on these B shows as well.
Yeah, I'm just like thinking back to like when I was younger and obsessed with wrestling, and whether I was watching live or watching older stuff back, and like anytime a guy has this like epic reign, he's got like crazy feuds and like, oh, will he lose it to this guy? Like not once have I been like, oh, Cody might lose this. Like, sorry, Solo Sikoa was not beating him. Like there was no way any of the people fighting him were going to take it from him. So it's just like weird because we haven't gotten one match that's like, oh, wait, I wonder how this goes.
It's part of that just being older as well. I think when you're younger, you get like sucked into like, I remember watching matches where, Kane would challenge Triple H for the title, and I'd be like, "Oh,
Kane's gonna win this one."
And I'm like, no,
he's not.
No way.
I just feel like no, because we felt like there's been other reigns where it's like you get into big feuds and you're not sure which way it goes, whether there's titles on the line or whatever. I just feel like this one they've played it safe because they are just going to eventually go to Rock and Cody. Like that's the end game, I guess.
Chris Jones in the chat is kind of on my level of thinking, says Rock beats Cody in Saudi and drops it to Roman at Mania.
Like I don't want Rock and Roman anymore. But then what the fuck does Roman do?
I mean, that's got to happen at some point.
Like you'd think Fatu versus Roman at WrestleMania is at like this point.
I mean, I think the assumption is The Rock is the guy pulling all the strings for the new bloodline. Right? So
but then they've been like fumbling.
Yeah.
So like literally fumbling with these guys if you'd want. Yeah, I don't know about that. I'd be down for Cody and The Rock just simply because of what has transpired this year with their storyline that like he beat him, so he pinned him, so like really that should be the match.
Yeah,
and I think we'd get some great content. But really, you put Cody in there with Punk, it would be good. You put Punk in there with Seth, that's a match we still didn't get. So like there's some options, but yeah, I don't know. Do we get our big Randy feud before WrestleMania? Is that the Saudi thing?
Yeah, I just feel. I mean,
I'm not buying Randy's beating him, but
I feel Randy's got to turn on Owens first because they're the the tag. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's maybe both Owens and Randy. I think maybe they were going to go to it earlier, but they're having too much fun with this pairing of Randy and Owens, being together and just like this fun giant Randy we got right now, Dad Randy,
Kevin Owens, and Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky.
Not the Ricky we thought would show up on WWE TV, but
soon he'll be there soon.
Yeah, be on the CBS Warner Brothers network.
Yeah. Shall we have a look through the Bad Blood card?
Yeah. Okay. So they announced.
It looks like it's pretty complete now.
Yeah. I mean, Triple H loves his takeover 5 matches now.
Yeah.
He definitely loves that. But Cody Rhodes and Roman versus the Bloodline, Solo and Fatu.
I'm saying the Bloodline via.
Is this
Hikuleo.
next week? This isn't next week. We still have a few
It's
weeks.
in 2 weeks.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nia Jax versus TBA.
So they're having a tag match next week. Nia and Tiffany against Bailey and Naomi, and
You think you Naomi?
it's a bit convoluted. I think it's whoever wins out of the baby faces, whoever gets the pin, gets the title match. But if one of them take the pin, they've got to leave SmackDown forever.
Okay.
So essentially going to Raw, I guess.
Oh, okay.
So or NXT maybe.
Huh.
So yeah, I'd see. Do we get a Bailey rematch?
I guess.
Maybe.
I don't know.
You can have a bit of tension between Naomi and Bailey trying to get the pin, because both want the match.
Triple H has done a lot of things in the last few years, but trying to get me to watch Nia Jax is not one of the things that works.
Yeah.
Just letting you. I will not watch. I take it back. Her versus Rhea was pretty good.
Yeah. She's been better in this run for sure.
That was her best highlight.
Yeah.
But no thanks. CM Punk and Drew in a Hell in a Cell match, I assume is the main event.
That's going to be the main event. I kind of want Drew to win, but I see it being Punk.
I think it should be Punk just because of he's back. It's the big first feud and stuff. I think I'm in the minority. The matches have not hit for me since coming back. The promos and stuff from Punk, he's still really good at that. And he'll have a great career in commentary when he decides to put that blazer back on. But the wrestling has been kind of boring. I think this is the one that they really need to amp things up. And maybe that's why they've been kind of waiting and he's been getting back in the groove and stuff. But I don't want to compare his run here to his run in AEW, but it is almost night and day as a fan being entertained. I was really into the wrestling and the stories, whereas this time around, I think it's Drew that's really shining through and breaking through and making this thing even better than what it could be. And I don't know.
I don't disagree. I still feel this run hasn't started yet. And he's been injured a lot of it. And I think they've done a fantastic job with keeping this feud alive, considering he was injured for 5-6 months, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of the SummerSlam match. It was just
you were at the SummerSlam.
I was at the SummerSlam match. Too much. I don't even hate the bracelet thing as much as some people.
Right.
Some people it's a bracelet. It's it's what it represents. I had my wallet stolen last week. I was more upset about losing my wallet because someone gifted me that than the contents of the wallet.
Right.
There is sentimentality to certain things and it means a lot to people and it's disrespect. So I get that. But on top of that, it was too much. Get the win, then take the bracelet away. Stop it. Oh, I can't win now because I need that bracelet. The stuff with Seth didn't need to be there at all for that.
Yeah.
He took away from that match. The second match I thought was a lot better. It was harder hitting. You got more actual wrestling, I thought. But then you had the Four Corners gimmick, which
so
just
stupid.
Took away from it so much. And I thought they tried their best to be creative with that gimmick, but it just, I hate you so much that I'm going to touch a corner.
Yeah.
I
didn't like it.
I did think the match was better, though. This is the real one. And I think, can we finally start cooking a bit in ring?
I think him being back, the first few matches back, is a weird, rose-colored glasses to a lot of people. Oh, shit, it's CM Punk. But, the contents of the wrestling, I didn't like either of those matches. Both. I think I agree that oddly, the one touching the Four Corners was better, but it still I'm just this is weird because all these years people have been begging for CM Punk to come back to WWE, and then he does, and he's calling himself Taylor Swift, and he's fighting over bracelets. I'm this is not the same guy. What the fuck is this? So I'm still hoping that this match delivers because again, the stuff the back and forth. You're right. For months of promos and story, I think Punk. We know one of the best on the mic all time, but Drew is now he's in another level compared to where he was. I think from this point on, Drew will be one of your main guys all the time because of just like the promo game, the social media game, the way that he kept this feud alive. I think has been really good. So Punk winning should be the deal because he should be going for like the title, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. But
okay, here's my my thought and my hope. Cody was bleeding in the cage match on SmackDown. Whether
Punk was bleeding in that 4-corner match.
Yeah. I think we could get old school bloody Hell in a Cell.
Is he going to come out to AFI?
Maybe. But yeah, I wonder if we get something a bit more violent than we're used to. We've had a little bit of blood on WWE where it was none at all, unless it was like
it's
accidental.
Bad blood.
The pay-per-view is called Bad Blood. I'm also like, when it comes down to sponsors and all that, you're all owned by TKO, and there's a whole load more blood and brutality in UFC.
Did you see the cut from last night?
No.
One of the worst
Really?
UFC cuts ever. This girl got her face punched so hard that it looked like her face split in two. So, like, yeah, there's a lot more violence.
So I can see them being a lot more open to the idea of it now.
Also, like, it's on Netflix, these pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Like, I watch Netflix. There's some fucked up shit on there.
Yeah. I think even on TV, like, we've seen what they can get away with on TNT and TBS.
You want a bloodbath from Punk?
I think so. I think the feud needs that. I think we need to kind of reestablish Hell in a Cell a little bit as well. Which there've still been some good. I did really enjoy that Seth and Edge one a couple of years ago we had, but in general, it's got a lot tamer, and we know what to expect. There'll be a kendo stick and there'll be a table bump, but it feels a little sanitized. And I think with these two, the level of the feud, I also think both of them are the kind of people that are like, fuck it, find me as well. Yeah. I'm hoping this is the blow off we all need, and we can end this feud on a bit of a positive.
Yeah. Again, like I think he's still got the like, hey, I'm CM Punk, and people are interested in everything he says and selling the program and everything. Like they're doing great work. Especially Drew, because I never saw that in him. Like the character he's like worked on and created, and it's so good. But it's been the two matches that have both like they're 0-2 for me, and I'm like, okay, this has to be the one to bring it back.
So after this feud, who do you see them feuding with?
Punk and
Gunther,
Drew, and not sure actually. Yeah, true. What do you do with Drew? Like Cody?
Yeah, I was just thinking you could do something where he loses. He doesn't even want to be on the same show as Punk anymore. Right. And he trades himself to SmackDown.
And goes after Cody. That could be pretty good.
Like that.
Yeah. See, there's a big contender of, hey, this guy could take it from him.
Yeah.
Like, he's not, but he could.
Yeah. But I think, I could see that.
Yeah.
We've got Priest and Finn Balor.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Like the whole Judgment Day has been a popular storyline, and Finn screwing Priest like easily goes to this. Not necessarily like super into the stories right now, but the storyline is popular. I'd say the Liv and Rhea match has more steam into it a bit more than this one. So not that into it, but
they're Finn and Priest are weird because they're two wrestlers I really like. Yeah. I think they're both good wrestlers. I think they're both likable. I think Damian Priest is a pretty likable babyface. I like Finn in this heel role. I think the story's there. But also, I see a ceiling of wrestling quality from both of them. Yeah. And I think I kind of know what we're going to see. And I think it will be a fine match. But maybe they'll prove me wrong. But I can't see myself getting... And I think that's why I'm like, this match makes sense. The story's there. They were tag partners. They were in a group for a long time. Finn turned on him.
Finn's been like that,
but
though.
Finn has never been the, part of me thinks a lot of people got caught up in the demon, the face paint, the stuff he was doing on the indies with that. His wrestling's fine. Apart from I'd say the Kyle O'Reilly match. I can't think of a match better than that he's had in WWE. Am I wrong?
In WWE, yeah. I think back to his original NXT run. His WWE run included, for me, his New Japan run had better matches.
His whole WWE run feels 4-star. and that's good.
Yeah.
But the Kyle O'Reilly match was the first one, especially from what I remember, was excellent. But yeah, I feel there's a bit of a ceiling.
The Johnny one, maybe. This is a Johnny Gargano
Maybe.
one. That was good. But yeah, like even the ones with Joe and Nakamura and stuff back in the day, like wrestling's kind of moved on a bit.
Yeah.
Like
I feel we got caught up in the entrance and what he's
to be fair,
as.
like I go back to like around the time I did check in on New Japan when he was in there, and I thought like, oh, this guy's great. He's a like foreigner in this like Bullet Club. That's fucking cool and like whatever. And then he left to go to NXT, which I thought was the coolest. But then in came Kenny, who I was like, wait a second, this guy's like fucking the next evolutions kind of thing. So I always love Finn, but you're right. He never got to that next like level. He's been safe kind of since being in WWE. And I feel like he's never had a match of the year. He's never had oh my God, that was the match of the show, even at least in like a long time. So prove us wrong. But like, again, I remember there's like a specific tag match. It's probably with Kenny, with him and Taguchi from like New Japan. That was like, oh shit, that match was really, really good. But since WWE, maybe that Kyle match, maybe a Johnny match, maybe the match with Joe, but still like, I love Finn, but you're totally right. And that's how I feel about him too. And Priest, like he's older, but he's newer to having the main roster run. And I think he's really popular and he could be champion again down the line. Like I could see that happen.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I think he could be.
Like we see the ads for that documentary. Like his story is awesome.
His doc was I was moved.
Like he's like, still
really good.
I think this guy's like a lifer, both of them lifers for WWE. But Priest, like, yeah, he might be a little older, but I think he's got like a spot for a very long time. People have grown to really like him.
Yeah,
both like seem like genuine gems of humans as well. So,
and then Liv Morgan with Dirty Dom versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship.
Yeah, I mean this story is what's really popular with a lot of people. I think Liv should retain for now, but then it's kind of like the popularity of Rhea is just like so big, but then you've slid in there with Liv being so sneaky in the whole love triangle, like it's juicy. So like you don't want to prolong it because then it'll get boring, but it's also like one of these people can't win the match. So
yeah, it's one of those things where like, okay, they had the SummerSlam match which Liv won, so you do think it's eventually Rhea's got to get her like comeuppance on Liv, and win it. But she's almost so popular that she doesn't really need the title.
She doesn't. Yeah, Liv does and Rhea doesn't. So
whereas I think it has elevated Liv. I think Liv's been doing her best work.
Yeah.
I think the new Judgment Day, with the tag titles and the Women's Championship, it makes them feel like a
street trash,
a bigger threat, this group. So
I'm going Liv because Rhea doesn't necessarily need it right now.
Yeah, that's what I think. You can get it on her once
Mania season,
and what matches are we looking to go for? Like
Rhea could win the Rumble again.
The Rhea big matches we haven't had are like Bianca, I'd say is the big one.
Yeah.
That I would like at a Mania one day.
I mean, hot take. Rhea Ripley should be the first female to win the WWE title.
I don't think they'll do that.
If they ever were, that would be the person to do it because she is so popular. She could have matches with like men, and it would but then that would open a door that maybe they don't want to open.
I think it devalues your women's title though. When it's saying that the men's title is above.
She's already won it though. It's like she just won the Rumble to win it. She's had her Mania matches. It's like now what do you kind of do? I don't know. It's a weird thing, but like Rhea versus Dom. You might print money.
I think you could do that for sure. Yeah.
But like have her win the IC title like China did. But like if they ever were to be like, oh, what if like a woman won the WWE title? I'd say it would be Rhea. Yeah. Like she's just so popular right now. And at the moment, I mean, maybe she's not winning the title right now, but I'm saying there's a time there's a time and a place that could be a thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but like she is so popular that I don't know what else you do with her because she doesn't have anyone else to dance with right now. Aside, like you got to make a new program outside of this Dom stuff eventually.
For Rhea?
Yeah.
She's
beaten Charlotte. She's beaten, who did she do this Mania? Crap. Becky?
Well, no, she was still injured at Mania, wasn't she?
I thought it was Becky and Rhea at this.
Becky and Rhea.
Yeah,
Yes.
this one we were just at. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So like, I don't really know who.
Yeah, I mean,
she's the big dog in the women's
Bianca,
division.
Jade, like they're two like big names. You can always do like if you shift Bailey over, like Bailey's like the last remaining horsewoman. She's not faced, isn't she?
Okay.
Like you could do something there maybe, but Bailey's a baby face. I don't see her turning anytime soon. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like she's a big draw.
But
big
also
part.
we've got NXT women you could bring up and just push to the moon, you know?
Yeah, eventually.
Well.
Yeah. EO versus Rhea.
EO, yeah.
Right? Like that's a big one, I guess. We haven't gotten in main roster.
I don't know how far off Asuka's back from her injury, but that's something.
Julia.
Yeah, you've got a lot of NXT women rocks when she
Bakura.
eventually moves up.
Yeah. The size difference between Rox and Rhea.
Nuts.
That'd be pretty crazy. Yeah, you mentioned Jade and Bianca, like they're the tag champs.
Yeah.
Like Rhea could find a partner, I guess. But that's kind of a step down.
I feel Bianca's kind of just babysitting Jade a little bit.
Yeah, like you said, Jade and Rhea. I'm like, ooh, that match isn't gonna happen
it
for a
could be rough.
while.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
I get why Jade is on TV. Like I completely do, but it's
You see that?
you would hope some improvement by now.
You see she got mad at someone being like, hey, you know, what's it like since leaving AEW and coming to WWE? And she's like, I'm really tired about these AEW questions. It's like that kind of wasn't what the guy was asking. He was kind of like being nice about like, hey, you still can't wrestle. What's up with that? And she's like, you know, I'm really tired of answering these AEW questions. It's like, okay, I have a question. Are you training? I think you're right. Jade just looks like a fucking superstar.
Yeah.
But since watching her in WWE, I'm like, you're the same wrestler I've watched. Same with Lexis King.
So in a tag team, it's fine because you can get away with, you know, coming in, hitting some cool looking moves. And
I just think you're like kind of pigeonholing Bianca right now because it's like, you could be.
It's derailing Bianca a bit, who for a while she was becoming
like John Cena.
She was becoming Miss WrestleMania.
Yeah,
you know,
she still
the Becky match and the Sasha match were awesome.
Yeah.
And Bianca, I remember they did was it a Raw after Mania a couple of years ago now? They did a stare down between Rhea and Bianca.
Yeah.
We still haven't got
We've got it in NXT as well.
Yeah.
Remember they did like a
the
crossover. Yeah.
It? And that is something I think would be huge. I think you could do that with both being baby faces as well.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Possibly. In the chat, Chris Jones says Rhea and Damian Priest should be tag champs, like not women's tag champs, but like tag champs.
I like that.
Yeah.
Especially now you've got two sets of tag titles.
The Terror Twins.
Look, if you can have Miz and R-Truth as tag champions.
That's what I'm saying. Rhea should be just fighting guys at this point.
I don't dislike that. I think that's better than her winning a singles championship.
Who's the tag champs on Raw?
It's the Judgment Day. It's Finn and JD.
Oh, then Rhea and
so it makes a lot of sense.
They should totally take the titles from them. Rhea and the Terror Twins.
I like that.
And that's the first ever women to be a men's tag champ. I don't think China ever won that title. So correct me if I'm wrong, but if Rhea wins that,
I think so.
There you go. I'm saying she should be WWE champion, but here she is about to probably be men's tag champion.
I actually like that a lot.
That would make total sense. That's exactly what is perfect and what they should do.
Yeah.
In fact, add that to Bad Blood. They already have those matches. They should do that. That would be pretty interesting and get some buzz. I think if a woman were to win the tag title, that would be pretty. Again, I think she should be fighting guys at this point because like she's kind of done the WrestleMania. She won the Rumble. She had her Mania. It's like this storyline is so popular. I'm like, it's reminding me of like you wanted to see China beat the shit out of these dudes. So like I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, we've got the match at SummerSlam, and you know me, I don't like this WWE stuff all the time, but it's so like storyline soap opera shit with Dom and everything. Like they're nailing it. So like maybe you should. That'd be pretty good. WWE hot as always. War Games, Vancouver.
Yep.
Really expensive tickets, but still sold out.
Yeah.
Like every show they've been doing, like Bash in Berlin, they're like, yeah, it's the biggest gate of an indoor arena. And the crowd are like, yeah.
Yeah, don't
we
cheer
made you,
this.
We made you.
Just be boo.
We paid you more than any other show because we're crazy and silly.
This dynamic pricing is fucked.
Okay, explain this like I'm 5.
So it's essentially the hotter the ticket, the higher the ticket prices go.
Like Taylor Swift.
Yeah, so like Oasis is the big one at the moment.
Right.
Like I was fortunate enough to get my tickets in pre-sale.
Okay.
I paid the original face value of the ticket, which was £150.
Nice.
For like standing on the field at Wembley for Oasis.
Fuck yeah.
Before this even hit the secondary markets, because of the demand of these tickets, they went up to like £450 on Ticketmaster face value. They changed the price to that because
that's scum.
So yeah,
so scummy.
And they're saying it's to combat. Basically, it's so we make the profit instead of the scalpers make the profit. Like, I'm sorry, I'd rather give someone like, oh, I bought these tickets, I'm sick and I can't go. Sure, I'll give you £200 for that £150 ticket. Sure. Instead of I'd rather give that guy than fucking Ticketmaster, who owns StubHub as well. After it, it's really shitty. So it's kind of like, you know, flights, I guess. You know, like plane tickets. You book at a busy time. You're trying to fly on Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever. The prices go up, and the more those tickets are selling, the more they go up. Rather than it's an empty flight, it keeps low. It's terrible. There's got to be like laws and shit now.
They've been trying.
And I know Oasis are like pissed because their whole thing, their website, their Instagram and everything was like, we're doing this, you know, invited pre-sale codes and stuff. We're trying to combat people selling their tickets. We want to give it a fair shot to everyone. How is it a fair shot? Like, it's
not fair at all.
No.
You're seeing all these things with Ticketmaster and Live Nation and like being sued and this and that. It's like, no, they're all the same, doing the same things. Like,
same fucking
it's crazy. Like anyone trying to get tickets for Taylor Swift, I'm like, you're not.
Yeah.
Like the other day, my stepmom was like, oh, I might try to. You're not.
No.
I'm like, sorry. Like you drop $2,000 on a ticket. You might.
You know, have you heard of these like raffle things? So
that they did before?
No, so there's a few. There's a website in Toronto for these things where you basically pay $15 to enter, and think that like hundreds of people paying $15 adds up, and basically you're paying for your chance to maybe win
your
gambling
ticket.
Yeah, so you might lose $15, but basically everyone's accumulative money pays for the tickets for someone who they draw.
Right.
My friend's housemate entered, won Taylor Swift tickets, sold them for $8,000.
Jesus
Turned $15 into $8,000.
Yeah, I would completely sell it. I would completely do that.
Yeah,
like that's crazy. But that's just I guess the dynamic is like, hey, if this thing is as popular as we think it is, yeah, we're going to. It's just scummy that they've realized, hey, all these ticket people are like that friend, they're making money. Why aren't we doing that? So it's such a shitty, scammy thing. Like last year when I went to see The Cure, buddy of mine, day of the show, was visiting in Toronto. I'm like, oh, why are you in Toronto? I'm going to see The Cure. My wife can't come though, so Robert Smith makes it so I can't sell the ticket. So I'm just going by myself. Do you want to come? And I was like, fuck yeah, okay, cool. I had to go in with him.
Yeah, and
he could not sell this ticket any other way. You had to have your ID to match the thing. I remember seeing 9 Inch Nails a few years ago and they did the same thing.
But I feel bad. I get it from a business point of view. Like if you know you're going to sell out, why wouldn't you try and make as much money as possible? I get that. I wish there was maybe something for, you know, families, like family ticket, that kind of thing. I'm hearing, you know, last row in Rogers Arena, is it in Vancouver? Last row in the buildings going for over $300. You know,
it was the
face
same
value.
Like, think Money in the Bank was just here, and like not until the day before, I was like, I'm not gonna go because like I know I won't like the show as much as I'm gonna spend on it. And then the day before, I like sniped a ticket and got it. But it's like it was expensive.
If you were going like mom, dad, 2 kids who you want to, they're loving wrestling, they're getting into it. You want to take them. You're better off going to Disney World.
It's crazy. Like it's nuts. I mean, look at these people traveling the world for Taylor Swift.
$1,500 to take your family to see
It's nuts.
Money in the Bank or whatever.
It's insane. Same with concerts, wrestling. It's pretty insane. Like WrestleMania tickets were pretty expensive, like as well, right? Like it's only going to be more for Vegas. So it's the world we live in, where it's like, hey, you really, how bad do you want to see Taylor Swift?
I mean, in a way, you're gonna like, as fans, the way this popularity is going, I guess we want more stadium shows because at least we can fit in there. You know, like if you are selling out 50,000 stadiums and then you're running 17,000 arenas.
But look at these artists who are canceling their concerts. There's so many more in the last little while. They're like, oh, she's sick. The show's canceled. The tour is canceled. Oh, actually, we're switching venues. It's for the crowd. It's like, no, they're not selling because these tickets. Like the other day, I was like, hey, what? I was gonna go out last night. So during the day, I was like, oh, what else is going on? Me and my girlfriend did a little bit of a bar crawl with just the two of us, and I was like, what events are on tonight, just to see what else. Mel C from the Spice Girls doing a DJ set. I was like, that's fucking weird. How much is that? 70 bones to go see Mel C, Sporty Spice DJ. I went, that's a bit much. Like if it was $20 for a laugh, I could go see Mel C.
Where was it?
Phoenix.
Okay.
Yeah. When I go click to see how much it was, $70. I went, what's that on StubHub? Can't find it on StubHub. That's weird. Go to the website. Show's been canceled due to lack of ticket sales. Yeah. Because who's spending 70 bones to go see Mel C DJ?
Yeah.
And that's the same. It's like big artists are changing and canceling tours. Wrestling, obviously not the case. Taylor Swift, not the case.
I'm nervous. I've got tickets for Hans Zimmer on Thursday. He just canceled his Baltimore.
Yeah.
Due to
saw
sickness.
that. Yeah. Hopefully. It was the same with Blink a few weeks ago.
Right.
The 3 shows before the Toronto show, they said they were sick.
Right.
And had to cancel. And I was like, and then they didn't. But
I mean, there's so much money lost canceling these things. So if they're canceling, it's due to
legit.
It's bad. And they don't want to let fans down by coming out and being shit. But
yeah,
it's
tough. But wrestling, it's only going to get more expensive. Fucking indie shows are expensive. It was more money to go to indie shows than the Ring of Honor show in WrestleMania weekend, right?
I mean, but that's venue hire and stuff. They need to be able to cover it,
and we get that.
Yeah, like we've hosted events where we've been we've priced it at a point where we'd ideally want to price it less, but
of course
we don't want to be out of pocket doing these things as well. And most of these indie companies, if not all of these, are not profitable.
Yeah. Oh, right? Yeah, of course.
So it's got to be that.
But Godspeed to anyone going to War Games. Good.
Yes.
It'll be fun. Don't get me wrong.
It will be fun.
But yeah, it'll be a pretty penny.
Some more WWE news. It looks like Motor City Machine Guns are heading to WWE.
Which I think we kind of saw, but then we haven't seen them in a while. And we're like, hey, if you haven't shown up in AEW now.
I mean, I think the Casino Gauntlet was the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, they're not showing up here. I mean, they announced that match, and I thought, why would they debut them in Kentucky when their name is Motor City?
Yeah.
You should have them show up at a Detroit show, and that never happened. And that's kind of where I figured you would have, or a pay-per-view debut or something. So I think it's safe to say these young, up-and-coming, chipper tag team that no one's heard of before show up on NXT and make a name for themselves. Help set up the ring.
Yeah.
Maybe these young vets in NXT can show these kids the machine guns the way around.
I think Ashanti the Adonis can show them the way.
No, he's gonna get them in trouble. Machine Guns is someone
I see them confronting Fraxium on night 1 and then having the match in St. Louis.
Let's have them do a bit of an NXT run, win the tag titles, whatever. But sooner rather than later, they're going to the main roster. You can't have these guys.
I think they'll be good to have on CW for a good few months. That match with Fraxium will be great.
I've
bit of a chase you.
I love these
go to
guys.
Chase you.
I would lose it to finally see. Oh, that'd be sick. I followed these guys for so long. I followed these guys since I was a young kid. When I first realized, hey, there's other wrestling other than WWE. What are you talking about? And would watch Shelly and Sabin, TNA, and Ring of Honor, and it will blow my mind to see them show up on WWE.
Sabin's never done anything in WWE, has he?
I'm pretty
Like,
sure Alex Shelley showed up
Shelley
once.
teamed with Kushida.
We had the
tournament.
time splitters. Yeah,
in the
one
Dusty
time. Yeah, we had them like one time, and that was fucking sick. But yeah, Hail Sabin coming to WWE. Paparazzi Productions coming to WWE. You weren't there, Davey. We need to do a best match ever Machine Guns because like they got some heat in their catalog.
That's a good idea.
What do you think? In a few weeks?
Yeah,
Best match ever Machine Guns.
We want to do this Sid show, but it's been very hard nailing down Brandon. So we could even slot it in this week.
We could.
I wouldn't be against it
because we could probably be seeing them on WWE TV really, really soon. Yeah. And like I've watched them since the beginning in TNA, and like I was always such a big fan of both these guys. Their Sabin's X Division title run was fucking gnarly. Think when AJ was like killing it. He had people like Sabin and Petey, and like the X Division was really hot at that time. But the tag team is definitely where I think they like found their groove with the two of them. So yeah, I'd be down.
We need to. I mean, I assume we are with War Games getting the Usos back together, and I know Jay's doing his single stuff, but yeah. Usos Machine Guns want to see. We're teasing leaving up the New Day, but. If you are just getting back together, because we need that match as well. Yeah,
like DIY Machine Guns will like feed families, like for sure. New Day, Creeds. Yeah, like there's some good quality there. Yeah. It's weird because in some alternate universe, the Young Bucks and Machine Guns in WWE would like you just saw that happening and never happened. But yeah, like I'm excited if they are coming into WWE, and that seems to be the word. And NXT, obviously, Fraxium would be the matchup to go to right away. But again, I hope that they are not staying in NXT and that main roster would be the thing. Because 100%. If we're bringing in Lucha Bros, if that's the case, like there's some crazy stuff to happen. Because the tag team's kind of been whack in both companies in this last little while. So they could definitely spice things up and blow some minds. So if that's the case and they are signed, like good for them. I'm pretty sure Shelley was like a paramedic or something also. Like that's probably going to change his life signing with WWE and stuff. But genuine, like I was a big TNA fan when they were on TV a lot. And to see them make it to WWE would be really fucking cool. So, and that match just sounds sick. Fraxium? Yeah. That should be the St. Louis show.
I think so. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Fucking crazy for sure. So that's pretty cool. To see that they're not showing up in AEW. I was watching that battle royal like, is this the time they show up? That would be weird. And then they didn't. Instead, the Kingdom showed up.
Yeah. Shall we talk a bit about AEW?
Yeah, I think so.
Shall we start with that as we're talking about tag
teams?
Let's
talk about some Dynamite with the main event where it was all the tag teams in AEW, which made me realize, the tag team division is not good right now. No. Remember 4 years ago when you had Private Party, you had, all these young teams that they were like, okay, in the next 3 years, they're going to be the shit. The next 3 years and 4 years have gone, and they're still these teams in the same positions.
It's presentation, isn't it? Because the talent's there. Like everyone in that casino gauntlet are great. There's some great tag teams there, but it's
star power,
it's presentation, and that is something you can fix because think what they've done with Bronson Reed on Raw. He was someone that was just floating around for the longest time. Yeah. And then in a matter of like a month, 6 weeks, by just doing cool shit, they've got this guy, they've elevated this guy. And I would say King of Hueco Mundo in the chat has brought up the Outrunners. They got the loudest reaction.
They did.
And they close out Collision this week, saving FTR. So I think they're the kind of team where, look, there's popularity now. Let's put a lot of steam behind these guys to elevate them, make them feel a bigger deal. We saw it with the Acclaimed a few years ago. I'd say the Acclaimed were kind of at that Outrunners level for a bit.
I agree.
I might just stop the video because I see the internet's going. But do you mind just closing the YouTube on yours as well?
Yeah, sure.
Because let's try and help.
StreamYard, what are you doing?
Yeah. Just if you want to close your tabs right now. It seemed okay. That looks better. Sorry if any audio glitches right there. Fucking StreamYard right now. But yeah, I think that was the big takeaway of this thing is there's no star teams in this division anymore. And as you said, I think they did a good job early on trying to build up your private parties and top flights, but then ultimately did nothing with them. And to continue my gripe about what was the pay-per-view we just had?
All Out?
All Out. We've now got your Ring of Honor TV champion and your AEW International champion going for the AEW tag titles.
I did think of that. We were going off about why do people who already have titles going for other titles like right away? And as soon as they teased, hey, Will, do you want to be my tag team partner? I knew right away. If the Machine Guns are not coming out, this team is winning. And then I watched the match. The Outrunners got the biggest pop. I went, Will is winning this match.
Yeah.
And you know what? They should win the tag team titles.
Why not? I think it can drive some story with the family and Don Callis and all that. And
they were pretty good. Like, as much as I groaned at, again, these other champions are going to fight for more titles. Just fucking titles on titles on titles. But then I watched them. I went, yeah, they're the most. That makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Like, again, I think the tag teams in AEW are good. It's just they haven't made stars out of these teams. So I don't care about the Kingdom.
No.
I don't care about the flight attendants. I don't care about these people because why should I?
Yeah.
Right? Like, you've conditioned me to not care about these people. And I'm conditioned to not give any pops to any of these people except the Outrunners because they've been doing funny stuff lately. So it's like, you're at fault, Tony, for making me not care about these teams. When 3 years ago, I was like, oh, what are we going to do with these great stories and characters? Nothing, because you didn't do anything with them.
I'm gonna jump around a bit while we're talking about the tag division.
Yeah.
I watched the main event of Collision this
week. Yeah. What was it? FTR and GYV?
FTR, GYV, and I thought it was pretty meh, to be honest.
Really?
And I think you had FTR win this match. Mm-hmm. So GYV's first kind of big match in the company, they lost. GYV are an act who should have come in as a shot in the arm to this tag division.
Yeah.
And it needs it. It needs that shot in the arm. I don't think they've given Gibson the mic once in front of the crowd.
Right.
They've done a couple of backstage things, but so much of their act is that, promo walking to the ring and getting everyone booing them and shoes off for Gibson and all that sort of stuff. They haven't given them that. And then they lost to FTR in a match. It's on Collision, which isn't a watch as much as other people. Yeah. I know you've got to put stuff on there to make it a show and a thing, but I think having them not really appear on Dynamite yet hasn't helped. And I think already they're just an afterthought. And you had them beat up FTR after with the Outrunners come for the save, and the Outrunners have already overtaken them.
Yeah.
And it's just bad booking. I think they should have come in as a big deal, and
they should have come in their suits, cutting promos,
and got a win over FTR.
Yeah,
they're heels; they can cheat.
Yeah,
doesn't matter. FTR are fine. FTR are they can take.
I completely forgot that match was happening, and now that you said that, I was like, wow, that's kind of shocking. That you'd figure that would be a pretty big deal, but I think you're right. I think they came in wrong. Showing up at Wembley just stare down was kind of weird, but okay. And then what you've done since is nothing. You put them on Collision. Well, even I didn't watch Collision.
They didn't win the Battle Royal. They lost to FTR. It's
a bit weird. And I'm not saying, hey, did these guys make a bad choice leaving WWE? They had a lot of shit thrown at them. I don't blame them for leaving at the time. It's just we've seen how the tides turn in wrestling, and they left because we are given shit gimmicks. We're in a cult with Joe Gacy and The Rock's daughter, and NXT sucks right now. Whereas the wave and the tide turns, NXT's kind of going back up again. Oh, the Machine Guns are coming in. Oh, this is coming in. You maybe have been put in a better spot. That's a maybe.
Yeah.
But again, they were probably very, very, very unhappy. But so far, their run on the indies haven't necessarily done too much, and they could be booked better. I'm not quite sure, but time will tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far, not the best first impression in AEW. Yeah, their tag teams are definitely a big issue with them right now because we still just have the Bucks and an FTR.
Yeah. As
the stars of the tags. So
I think FTR could do with a heel turn as well.
Eventually,
they need something.
They need something.
been on this babyface run quite a while
They're
now.
popular, but like
they're good,
they need
but-
something else to like.
Yeah.
They need a story at least. Like you can't just come out and wrestle and say, "Yeah, I love my daughter and I love my people." Like I love them, but like you can't do that for
Yeah.
3 years in a row.
No.
You need to like switch things up.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a heel turn, but yeah, because you can't because the Bucks are heels right now.
Yeah.
And like they're the same thing, just doing this run that's like,
Yeah.
it's just okay. We went kind of backwards, but the beginning of the show saw Lio Rush taking on the Scapegoat in a TNT title match.
Mhm.
I think it's cool that Lio Rush showed up. Any reports? Has he retired since?
Still there
wrestling.
was a thing on Collision
Don't tell me he's
where
retired.
Action Andretti was very upset with the losses top flight. They were like, "Oh, let's all go for dinner," and he's like, "No, we keep losing.
Okay.
We got to sort it out." And so that could drive Lio Rush to go away, is all I'm saying.
Like if there's something with what was the video I saw with Stokely where he's like watching best of tapes of tag team matches.
Okay.
And it looked like he was watching Briscoes and things. So maybe he's going to manage a tag team. Maybe he finds
I
a
think
new tag team.
maybe I could see him with this group potentially because, just from the angle of them being like lost and trying to find their way, maybe Stokely is the guy they need. Be like, yo, take off that fucking pilot's
stop dressing like
costume.
strippers.
Layla Gray, you're okay.
Yeah, you can dress like that,
You
actually.
can keep that.
Yeah.
Dante, put your clothes back on.
Because like you could bring in eventually the Hurt Locker, the Hurt Syndicate,
Yep.
whatever that's going to be. Like, I'm not sure if they don't necessarily need Stokely, but that could be a tag team. Ricochet could be tied with them as well. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, again, tag teams is what needs the repair in AEW for sure.
I thought the match was all right. I don't think Perry has quite found the heel work in his wrestling yet. I like his, I quite like his turning up in the van and throwing his title in there at the end of the match, like a promo walking to the back as he's leaving. I think that all works. I think he's definitely, his promos improved since turning heel, and the looks of the camera and stuff.
I like him.
His wrestling was so babyface friendly, and there's nothing particularly exciting about him in ring anymore.
Yeah. I think they gave him like a whole new character. The van, the title, the look, and the attitude is cool, but I need like a new finisher. I need like a low. I need
using the knee, isn't he?
I need you to be like an asshole. I need you to cut promos like how you think you are. I don't need this like I'm so tough and serious and brush my hair out of my face. No, I need you to like tell me that you're a cunt. I need you to talk about how your girlfriend's hot, and I need you to act like an asshole, and you're not necessarily. You're just kind of like I lost to Danielson. I liked the match with Danielson, actually, but this match was fine, too. I just feel like they're half-assing something that could be, like, way cooler than it is. But then once you do that, people are going to like you again, so then you'll be a babyface again anyway. So it's kind of weird. But, like, you're looking like you're acting like you're Stone Cold because you're driving in your own car. You're throwing the title around. But then when you're wrestling and talking, I'm like, something's there. But he's still, I guess, finding that route. But I don't dislike Jack Perry. I think the like hatred of disliking him has kind of gone away in a way, and that's maybe hurting him where they need to capitalize on like
it hasn't even been since the Punk thing. It's been since the Four Pillars feud where he got completely exposed.
Right.
I think that's when I felt the turn from a lot of the fan base against him. But I just think maybe he's not the guy. Who
I don't think he's the guy. I just think like, after all this time, he still hasn't been cutting great promos and stuff. I still love him. Don't get me wrong, but he's not maybe that level there. But other things, we had Hangman. Hangman fucking killing me. I told you last week the All Out, the part like at the end of the show when like he's like thinking about going back down. And he starts to walk and you hear people's reactions. My reaction watching was like, holy fuck, dude, leave him alone. He's dead. And then like realizing like, what have I done? And then like, I've gone too far now. I am this person. Like, fuck that guy. And then he has a quick little interview with Renee on Dynamite. And she's like, hey, you like burned his house down. That's kind of messed up. And he's like, I'd do it again. If he had 1,000 houses, I'd burn them all down. I was like, yo, I'm in on this character. Again, they've turned you heel, which makes me like you as a babyface.
So something I haven't really seen being mentioned, but I was chatting to a friend of mine who watched, like the fan videos, because I don't think it was actually caught
Yeah.
thing, is apparently Hangman's still been doing the babyface tunnel, and at the end of the match with Swerve,
Right.
when he's walking to the back, he looks at both and chooses the heel tunnel.
Right.
So
right.
it was kind of that, that moment him going down. It was almost, was he going to attack him more, or was he actually, fuck, what have I done to this man? And then accepting who he's become. So it's kind of like, it's Harvey Dent, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's you become the villain you've been chasing, or whatever the line is.
Right.
It's very Harvey Dent.
Live long enough to become the hero.
To become the villain.
Sorry.
And that's exactly what's happened. And now he's realized it's gone beyond just, I've been acting this way to Swerve, and now it's, this is the man I am now.
I almost want Swerve to continue this and maybe have a feud with Ospreay, like go for a title, because you can't go for the main title because Danielson, Hangman.
We have had that match already.
Ospreay, Hangman.
Oh, Hangman. Yeah, sorry. No, I love that.
Like he can't
Hangman
go for the
Ospreay
title because we've already had Danielson, Hangman.
Yeah,
like, we've done that a lot, so like we don't need that again.
Hangman Ospreay would be good for sure.
Yeah, and that could be a way for Will to lose that title, and then eventually, go for that main title down the line. But yeah, I just thought like the little things that Hangman does since beginning of AEW, like he's so good, and
his delivery is great. I love the just.
It's one of my favorites.
Sort of frantic. It's not like a considered promo, if you know what I mean. It's just like got this energy to it where, I'll burn down his house. I'll burn down 1,000 houses.
So much.
Like
He's so entertaining. He's fucking prime.
The eyes bulging the whole time.
Stash, the hair is wild. Like, I don't know, man. He does like, I just genuinely love this guy. So one of my favorite things going, and I'm not quite sure where to go, but I would think Ospreay him would be a pretty big feud.
I think that makes sense.
Like going forward, it's just like I've seen you do some crazy shit. You just got to keep upping your ante. That's the problem. Like now everyone's gonna expect you to fucking stab people with needles and shit. Like where else do you go with this crazy character? So I'm interested, but I would burn 1,000 of his houses down. It's just so fucking funny, man. So good. Hangman. We always talk about wrestlers going into acting. Hangman into acting.
He'd be good
in like 10 years because what I've seen from him in this storyline alone, you're insane.
Put him in like a supporting role in some Western.
Yeah, I don't want a rom-coms or Batista spy movies.
And
I want a Western.
Don't put him as the lead quite yet.
Yeah.
But like have him be like
a henchman.
Yeah, like a bit of a supporting cowboy role in some Western.
Yeah,
would be pretty good.
And then he burns a house down and stabs people in the face. I'm for it. I'm trying to think of what else happened on.
Well, we had the fallout from the BCC. They showed the promo as they're leaving the arena from All Out, and then cutting the promo in the ring. Moxley's delivery is great. I felt it was a little bit early Shield promo, where you're saying a lot of words without really saying too much.
Justice.
He's essentially Danielson's approach was too soft, and they want to be killers, and then calling out Darby and goading him into putting his title on the line.
Yeah, okay, that's a little weird and a little messy, and I think it's because, hey, Darby, we're gonna have you win a battle royal. What do you win? Grand Slam main event. Okay, cool. And then we kind of go forward and we go, maybe we shouldn't have done that. How do we get out of that? I don't know. Just say, nah, you don't want that match. I want to fight you instead. Why would he agree to that when he's like, well, I have the title match actually, but
I think
it's a little backwards.
Also, Darby is insane.
Yeah.
Like we know that. And Darby has never beaten Mox. So I think I could understand why Darby would accept it.
Okay,
because
so
I think he's like, all right, I need to prove myself against Mox.
And that's where they're going with it, yeah.
And also, he's angry at what Mox has done.
Yeah,
so has a bit of a vendetta there. I'm kind of okay with all of that. It just then gets a bit weird when Nigel is then like, nah, fuck it, I'll face Danielson.
Okay, so
And they are doing it it's quite funny watching Collision and the rest of Dynamite, where commentary are like promoting the match and not promoting it.
Like,
they're like, if Danielson's okay.
Okay, so storyline wise, it's like Darby's like, yo, I have a match against Danielson, but Moxley, that's your boy, and you turned on him. What the fuck? And Moxley's like, yeah, you shouldn't face him. Why don't you face me? And I'll fight you for your title shot, essentially, is what I think they're fighting for. and I've always beaten you. And you can't even beat me. So Darby's like, fuck it. You know what, Danielson? I don't want to fight you just yet. I'll fight Moxley. Okay, cool. Storyline wise, Nigel's like, Danielson's hurt and doesn't have a match. Yo, Tony, you booked me for All In. What do you say I fight Danielson? Well, you know, Danielson's not clear or whatever. Is he clear? Because if he is, he should fight me. I get that like heel tactic storyline is Nigel's like picking at the scraps.
Yeah, and calling him a coward.
Yeah, which he's been doing for 2 years.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah. Okay, let's forget how we got there. We're getting Nigel and Danielson.
It sounds great. Like, and I don't think it is all as complicated as people make it out to be. Like, it does make sense. I think it makes sense for all the characters involved that this is happening.
So stacked Grand Slam, in my opinion, because now we're getting Bucks versus Ospreay and Fletcher.
Yeah.
Moxley versus Darby. And Nigel McGuinness versus Danielson in New York. How many years ago from them fighting famously in New York? Was that Ring of Honor at the head spot?
That was Liverpool.
That was they had one in New York that
the head spot was in Liverpool, I believe.
Okay,
but they had a few matches.
Like this is the match we've been waiting for a long, long, long time, and it's cool that we're getting it. And then Nigel cuts an amazing promo, basically saying that storyline, like, "Hey, why don't you fight me, coward?"
I want to get. I want a little bit more out of Nigel.
We have one more week.
We have a week. I want a proper, whether it's a sit down interview with JR or something like that, because the thing is, I think Nigel is naturally pretty funny. So listening to him on commentary all these years, making digs at Danielson, it comes across comedic heel rather than I hate this guy. Yeah. Like it almost sounds like they're best friends. And that's why he's saying these things. Yeah. You know, it sounds like banter. And I think now I want to get across from him more the seriousness and go into the fact that, you know, whether you want to mention WWE or not, but they both were offered contracts at the same time. And Danielson lied about injuries, and that's why he got signed. Nigel was upfront about his injuries and had his contract rescinded. And that's a lot of the hatred. So when Danielson is at WrestleMania 30, winning
the title,
the unified titles and all that, and Nigel's sat behind a desk calling matches on NXT and things like that. I think this is where I gather this hatred's from. And watching his documentary and stuff, he says things about, you know, we exchange a moment when like a text. I think wasn't it when Danielson first won the title was when Nigel's career was like officially over. Right. Or something like that. I think you can play into the jealousy a lot more, which hasn't been explained on TV.
They got 1 week.
Really. So I would like I think a sit down would be the best way to get it out from Nigel. It seems like they're, you know, playing with the will he, won't he show up. So Nigel comes out and then will Danielson come out and final countdown or whatever.
They did play some of the stuff on Collision. I saw the video that they like highlights of their feud and stuff like that. So like that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they showed the highlights. I want to get to why is that animosity there? And I think Nigel could cut a real good promo. He sounded good, don't get me wrong. Yeah. It's just shifting from heel funny commentator to actually no, I fucking hate this guy.
I think we'll get a promo. I think we'll get it. I really liked his promo this week. I liked the fact that he was like, oh, Mox is taking his opponent. He doesn't have a match. I just wrestled. So actually, I want that. Yeah. And I got it. So I do like that. But I think we'll get this promo this week. And I guess the story is, for me, is also on top of this is like, well, Daniel should be mad at Mox. He shouldn't be worried about Nigel. He should be wanting to face Moxley instead of Darby and all this. So it's kind of weird that they're shoehorning this. Yeah. So the storyline should be Danielson shouldn't be on Dynamite. No. The match, Nigel should come out in New York in Grand Slam and be like, Danielson, you coming out or not, you coward? And then he comes out. And then they have the match. And then it'll be awesome, hopefully. So, like, yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Wheeler Yuta as well, who I think's doing his best work so far.
Yeah, I've been sending that meme of him from All In, like his face, like crying to a lot of friends.
Did you catch his interview on Collision?
Yeah, man, that was depressing.
Was great, where he's just, Sorry. What was the question again? Just playing completely distracted and
Mention his aunt
who passed away in
earlier that day.
Japan.
The day of All Out. Earlier, he got a note that his aunt passed away from COVID, I believe, and then did this angle, and then like kind of ties it in that he had a very bad day that day.
But I think he's playing it really well. I like the stretching out a little bit. What is happening with this group, with these titles? Yuta being the only one, still wearing his BCC jacket and all that. You're like, I think it's working. And his match he was against Anthony Henry and was basically wrestling quite depressed and distracted, and then gets smacked and just beats the shit out of him and murders him. I think it's working.
Still coming out wearing his BCC.
Yeah, bless him.
It's like me walking around with the law. These. Yeah, I think it would be interesting if they handle this better than like the Garcia stuff, because what if Yuta is like, actually, they got a point.
I think that's how, like, he finished the match with cattle mutilation. He was doing all of Danielson's moves in the match. I think it'll be he reluctantly accepts that he's got to be part of the group.
The reason I joined you guys was because I was sick and tired of doing funny shit.
Yeah.
And then I joined you guys and we're doing crab walks and smiling and hugging. Like, nah, I'm here to hurt people too and be a champion.
Yeah.
So actually, I agree with you, Mox.
Yeah.
Possible. But then it's pretty much the BCC. It's just a different name.
Yeah, minus Danielson, yeah.
Yeah. But I thought it was really good, that promo from him as well. I did seek that out. I'm trying to think of Ricochet fought Sammy Guevara.
Yeah.
Actually, pretty fun match. Early on, Sammy does a spot off like the tunnel diving. That was pretty cool. I thought they had like good chemistry. Sammy Guevara is still a good worker. He's just stuck in this weird, like, we don't know what to do with you role. Ricochet, just coming into AEW, is already kind of put in that we don't know what to do with you role. Yeah. I was under the assumption that Grand Slam was Ricochet and Ospreay, but no, Ospreay has a tag team title match. So
I think it'll be Wrestle Dream.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I'm still not sold on Ricochet. This was a better showing than the Carl Fletcher match, but
I think it's backwards. I'm
still waiting to see something new out of him.
That's what I mean. Like, Grand Slam should be right away. Free TV so more people see him. Yeah. And, like, cool, we got Sammy Guevara in here too. Like, legit, like, cool match. But imagine you just did Ospreay Ricochet at Grand Slam for free on TV where people be like, oh, shit, this guy is pretty good.
Yeah.
Instead, we're still like, oh, what are you doing here? Are you even wrestling in Grand Slam? Who would you have him face? Did someone come out and attack him? I forget now. Beast Mortis?
Yeah. Is that a match we're getting? La Beast Mortis?
The Beast Mortos?
And
who's fucking sick because now he's leaning into the and normally in wrestling, I think that shit sucks. But when he looks like a fucking bull, yeah, all right, you can do it.
Yeah, that should be good.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Like, did they ever tangle? Was Beast Mortus in Lucha Underground? I think that's before his time.
Wasn't when I was watching. Whether he was in later seasons, I don't know.
Like, again, I think you need to show how cool Ricochet is, and like Sammy Guevara is, unfortunately for him, in this weird like position right now where he's not necessarily one of their stars. So no one believed that it would be a big fight for Ricochet. We got some cool spots in it though. Yeah. But like, I think there's some juice for Ricochet, and I think out the gate you should just show us how good he is, and I think they're trying to do that, but we need that Ospreay match like right. We needed it like next 2 weeks, but instead we're going to go to that match, which should also be really cool. But I do love me some Beast Mortos. He's fucking sick. Other things, I'm trying to think.
Mariah May and Queen Aminata. I thought was pretty good. I really like Queen Aminata. She was back on both shows again this week. I think she's excellent. But Mariah then saying that she needs Mina Shirakawa back, which I imagine will be the Wrestle Dream match.
Very excited to bring her back as well. But then on Collision, it was the return of the magical lady,
Yuka
Genie Pants.
Yuka Sakazaki.
Yeah. Did you see the face to face?
Yep.
I'm excited about that. She's still wearing the Genie Pants. What did she say? Okay.
I liked Mariah's like, I will face you and I will rip your head off. Okay.
I died. Yeah. Someone did a video edit where it's that promo, but instead of Mariah May, it's the alien xenomorph,
Right.
and like coming down face to face, and she's just staring at it, and then it goes, and she goes, okay. So funny.
There was a line during the match. So Mariah joined commentary on Collision, and she's going like, "I ain't gonna face her. She's 10. That's child abuse." And Nigel essentially goes, "Oh yeah, Tony knows all about that. It explains his like fucked up children." I was like, "What?"
I didn't hear that, but that's
Tony's just like, "Okay,
yeah, all right, whatever." I think that's pretty cool. Bringing her back, she's fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's been injured for a while.
She reminds me of like Toad from Mario.
Okay.
Like very happy and like high pitched voice. Like,
Yeah.
okay, kind of thing. Like, yeah. I don't think Toad in Mario wears genie pants, but he should.
What else?
They teased Okada and Takeshita.
Yes.
Which like that must be Wrestle Dream.
Yeah.
Like you can't give that away for free on Grand Slam. The match.
I mean, I do find it interesting the going to Mox Derby at Grand Slam, because with this whole turn for Mox,
yeah,
you'd assume he's
retiring Danielson in Wrestle Dream.
You think Mox becomes champion at Wrestle Dream?
Yeah.
I think that's so soon for this run.
I think Danielson's leaving fairly soon. The fact that they're like, yeah, we're doing the Nigel match now. It's like, oh, okay, we're gonna wrap things up.
And then, I mean, then you have Mox be the ultimate guy that Darby can beat for the title down the line.
Yeah.
It's just, like, I'd have assumed they'd have gone Darby Danielson in being Tacoma, you know?
Absolutely.
Maybe the Mox, but I just wouldn't have Mox lose this soon into this heel turn.
Exactly, yeah.
It's
a little weird.
I don't know. I mean, I'd be disappointed if Danielson's run ends this soon, but maybe you're right. It makes sense for the character of Mox to win that title, and I don't know.
Yeah, like you don't want Danielson to retire already because it's like, oh, look, he does look good with that title, doesn't he? He looks like a champion. He is our champion. Fuck yeah.
Especially that you've written him off as soon as he won.
You
know,
with the bag over his head. But like Danielson, does he lose the title and then still wrestles like once in a while? Because he keeps saying, "Oh, full-time retirement." It's like, well, does that mean you're still gonna wrestle? Like,
he's not under contract right now. Is
no. Fucking Tony Khan's done. Mox did that before, like multiple guys.
Cody was TNT champion without a contract.
Like, yeah, it's tough because once we lose Danielson, we'll be missing that. Like, oh, we need a void filled there for sure. But yeah, I don't quite know. I assume that pay-per-view is either Mox v Danielson or Darby, and it looks like it should be Mox.
Yeah,
and like because of the storylines, Mox should beat him, but. Not quite sure. Takeshita Okada is definitely the match. I'm like, holy shit, can't wait, because I feel like in this weird AEW bubble that Okada's been put in, Takeshita should overtake him, and beat him essentially, because Takeshita's basically a babyface.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're positioning. I think they're doing the thing with the family where they're leaning them babyface before they fully turn heel on Ospreay again.
Yeah,
is what the sense I'm getting. But Takeshita will be the babyface against Okada.
He's just so fucking.
I kind of don't even care who wins that match. I just want both of them
to see it.
I just want Okada, like big match Okada, finally on a AEW pay-per-view, and Takeshita just showing everyone what we know he's capable of as well. Yeah,
that's the like that's my pay-per-view match. Yeah. I don't care what anything else is on. If you're telling me that I get that match, like please. We got like a little taste of it, but like, oh man, that would be one hell of a match. So yeah, whether they add that to Grand Slam, I would save it for the pay-per-view though.
No, save it for the pay-per-view. Yeah.
So Grand Slam looking pretty good already with 3 matches. I'm sure we'll get some more stuff announced for this week. They've got a lot less tickets sold for this time around. Like, holy shit, man.
I'd be interested to see the bump after this week's TV, because you announced 3 huge matches. And I think, you know, for your diehards, Danielson, McGuinness, the only time you're ever going to see that again, probably. I think that's going to help. And Mox Derby sounds pretty good as well.
Again, like nothing that we're in Toronto. We're not flying in for this one, but like I would go if I was in the New York area. But like compared to some of their other, like again, we went to Kenny and Danielson. That was 20,000 strong. Now they got like under 5 so far sold. So it's like, maybe this is a break from this venue that they so-called need.
Well, they are. They could do a pay-per-view there. Like,
yeah.
But for a Wednesday night, it's
tough.
It's tough.
Yeah. So yeah, lots of stuff going on with AEW. I liked this week's episode.
I did.
I like this week's stuff. I'm definitely into everything that they got going on, and even if there's some head scratching moments, I'm looking forward to the stuff coming up. I saw outside of AEW, I saw JBL showing up everywhere.
Yeah.
What's going on with JBL?
He's scouting.
He claims he's scouting for Triple H.
Okay.
So he's going to be...
Is there going to be a payoff with all this? Or is it just for a little bit of a pop? I don't know.
Probably not. But maybe he's
Forming
like...
a stable.
He's looking for his new cabinet.
Yeah.
He's looking for something. He's looking at the territories. So it's what? He's done Impact. Sorry, TNA. He's done MLW. If that's a thing.
Yeah.
He's showing up in all these indie places, and he claims he's scouting. So it's the territories. Maybe this leads to a storyline in WWE. I'm not quite sure. Maybe these are all the places Triple H will be purchasing.
Yeah, maybe. Or just sending talent, like especially if they're cutting like live events. I think you're going to see a lot more talent sharing.
Well, it's weird because I didn't see him show up on the season premiere of WOW, Women of Wrestling from yesterday. He needs to show up there.
He ain't giving a clothesline from hell to the mother truckers.
Honk, honk. Yeah. They showed up. They have a new set, a new arena.
Oh.
And they showed vignettes for some familiar faces from WWE NXT showing up in WOW in the next little while.
Interesting.
But their set, I can't tell you.
Oh, come on, man.
Can't tell you. You got to watch the show. Their set looks sick. They must have got a budget bump.
Right.
Because their production from their last place to their new place, WOW, looks extremely good. They got like the 8K, the 4K thing with the blurred thing, cameras and stuff.
Nice.
Their gear looks better. Like, just looks like they got like little bit of a raise since AJ Lee left. They're like, well, all that money could go to the talent and stuff. Like they had a big audience for it. It looked really good. So going forward, I'm wondering like they try to keep their stay, and I don't know if they're going to stay on the CW, even though NXT is also on the CW. But I thought they. I mean,
that's if they're sending NXT talent, that's great partnership.
Former NXT talent.
Okay.
Former NXT. I think WWE released some people.
Okay.
Xylee might show up. She showed up on TNA.
Yeah.
You never know who all these people are going to show up. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. Also, Heels, the show, is now available to watch on Netflix. And I do think that we see Punk, WWE, Netflix work together to try to make some other thing. And then a last little thing that I saw was somehow PWT signed some deal with Hot Topic to sell Joe Hendry's t-shirts in Hot Topics.
Wow.
And we haven't seen that sort of crazy crossover since like the Bullet Club guys originally did that way before AEW was ever a thing. So I think that's a pretty big deal that this guy's got a shirt.
Are they selling the Joe Hendry Cup as well?
No.
Did you see this? His match against Josh Alexander got low blowed and then reveals a cup
with his face on it.
Yeah.
They should sell it at the indie shows maybe. Lots and lots of cool stuff in wrestling.
Awesome.
There you go. We chatted about it all.
We did.
Hope you enjoyed us chatting about all this wrestling. You can catch us every Tuesday, 2 p.m. usually is when we go live here on Poisonrana. Hit that subscribe, hit that like. But if you did like what you hear, check out our patreon.com/Poisonrana. $5 to become a friend. You get so many podcasts out there. We got a few people sign up this week that were messaging and being like, whoa, you guys do so much. I got hours and days and weeks of content.
Oh, yeah.
And best matches ever. We got movie reviews. I think we might do a machine gun show.
Yeah.
If you guys are for it, we'll definitely do it. Let us know what matches should we talk about for the machine guns, because we'll definitely be thinking about that. So lots and lots of podcasts for you. And of course, we can't do it without you, our fine listeners. So thank you, especially some people in the YouTube chat today. Super appreciate it.
We see you there. Thank you, Chris. You stuck with us all day. We had Job Nobly, Adam, the Psycho, MC Nemesis. Thank you, Maya, who said she just signed up to the Patreon.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And we'll chat to you on Tuesday on the Post Wrestling Network.
Yes, new up next, 10:15 p.m. on Tuesday. That's it. That's all. Follow us at Poisonrana Pod on X and Instagram. And I myself, Braden Herrington. You can find me Twitter, Instagram at the Brady.
And you can find me at Davie Portman.
That's it. That's all. Take care. Goodbye. Be safe. And as Yuka Sakazaki would say,
okay.
Bye.
Ahoy!
Poisonrana.